Hey, what's going on YouTube? Parrish Plays here. Today I've got a fun one. I'm going to be showing off my collection. And this is not as a flex. There's people in this hobby that have way bigger collections than I do. My hope with this video is that it builds a little bit of credibility with you guys. There's a lot of Pokemon YouTubers out there that talk about investing and all this stuff, but you really kind of don't know what they have, what their collection looks like. So I just wanted to put this out there, and I don't have, you know, all of this in me. It'd be cooler if we were doing this video where I could like show you what everything is, but I'll be popping up pictures on the screen of my bins and all that stuff. I keep this hidden away in a closet. I think that's the best way to do this, because if it's sitting out on a shelf, you're gonna be tempted to open it all the time. So I do keep most of this stuff just in the closet to where I can't see it and I can't open it. So let's get into it, and again, I'll give some stories here about what has worked for me. I've been in this hobby since 2022, so 3 years now, and I will mention in here when my first purchase was for investment. You'll actually see it. My channel goes all the way back to Brilliant Stars. This is, I think, the first opening that I ever did on this channel, and that's what really got me back into the hobby, was the Charizard from Shining Fates and the Charizard from Brilliant Stars. Charizard's still my favorite, so he's what got me back into the hobby. And I really didn't even think about, you know, quote unquote investing or whatever you want to call it, until you'll see down here my first product was purchased in November, September, somewhere around there of 2022 was my first big purchase. Everything else was for collection, and that's kind of how I start and look at these things, is for collection first and then investment second. But it all commingles. I mean, it's all really semantics at this point. Whether you're investing or collecting, whatever you want to call it, you're still doing the same thing. So we'll go through my thoughts here, and it's funny because I ever only thought of sealed as investments, and my single cards were totally just collection only. And then you look at here what my best performers are, what some of my highest valued things are, and it's my single cards, and specifically promo cards. I mean, promo, like all, that's not a promo, but like all of these top cards are promo cards, which is absolutely crazy. And I know promo cards are kind of bumping right now, and that's part of the reason why I'm selling more than I'm buying, as if you've watched my videos, you know. But it is interesting to see kind of how my thought process has changed in these 3 years about certain things being investment, especially with seeing, you know, some of the results here. So we'll start here with the Umbreon VMAX. This card, my wife happened to pull this on Christmas out of a Arceus V collection box or whatever, but a premium collection box from GameStop. Must be down here somewhere. I've got one of them. This Arceus V-Star premium collection box, we bought one of those, opened it on Christmas, and just happened to pull this Umbreon VMAX. So that's just dumb luck. You're gonna have some of that in this hobby. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen very often. You know, out of all of the packs that I have pulled, I definitely don't have my values worth, but this is one we just got lucky. This card will be staying with me for the rest of my life. I will mention that all of these cards in collection boxes have a price, except for about 4 of them. That's probably my childhood 3, original 3, and then this Umbreon, because of the story behind it. So that one's not going anywhere. And right here, these 2 promo cards. This was actually the special delivery Charizard in a 10. It was the first card that I ever graded in a 10 myself. So that is a really cool story, and I will keep this card forever. I had 2 of these, but again, when it ran up to $500 and I was buying it for $40, I thought, you know, you've made your 10x when you bought a card for 40 and now it's for 500, 400, 500. So I actually sold one of these, have my money out of it, so now I can keep this card guilt-free. Same thing with this Pikachu with the gray felt hat. I think I had 3 of these at one point. I got 3 of them with the drop originally, graded 2 of them in a 10 luckily, and graded one like a 4 or something. So I sold that one for really low right off the bat. But then the other 10 I held until it was about $850, and I just recently sold that one to try to get my money out of it, because the overall theme of this collection, I eventually want to have more money taken out of it than I have put into it, so that my collection can grow and be guilt-free, essentially. I'm a finance major, and so the financial aspect of this is very important to me. And when I look at it as, you know, you've put 10, 20, however much money into your collection, that's like real money. So the idea that it could go to 0 or something like that is just crazy to think about. So I would rather take the money out of it while I can, and then let the rest grow with no risk, no worry. But again, I'm pretty risk adverse, so that's just my strategy with it. This 151 booster bundle display was probably my best play, and that was super lucky. GameStop was doing buy 2 get 1 free at one point, so I was able to buy like 12 of these bundles for the price of 9 maybe. So I got this for super cheap, and luckily they sent me a sealed display, and then they sent me like 2 random bundles with it. This is one of the cooler items that I have. The sealed displays of these are so cool. I have another one for Paldean Fates down here. I bought this from Forge and Fire for, I don't know, $250 or something like that was the pre-order, 25 bucks a bundle, and they sent a sealed one, which is so cool. So these two are going to be tough to sell because, you know, it's a one and done. Typically with my collection, what I like to do is buy 2 of a product, open one and sell one, and I'll actually move down here. Celebrations Ultra Premium Collection was the one that started it all in 2022. I bought 2 of these, one to open on my channel, and you can still find the video. I'll try to link it up here, which is fun to see. But then one that I held on to, I paid $360 for it, and it stayed $360 forever, it seems like, until now it's finally going up for people getting excited for the 30th anniversary. And that's kind of how these Pokemon investments work, is that they'll stay pretty stagnant for a long time, and then just out of nowhere they'll shoot up, you know, 100% in a year or 6 months, whatever this is done. That is my strategy behind all of it, was to buy 2, rip one, hold one sealed, and then when the sealed one went up 2 times, I could sell it, get my money out of it, and essentially keep what I opened for free. So again, that was my overall theme and overall goal for my entire portfolio, is to have everything out of it and be operating at a profit going forward. So I was in the process of that this year. I started selling a ton of my stuff in April, sold off a huge portion of it, and then when I saw everything, you know, double in 2 months or whatever, I kind of pulled back a little bit on what I'm offering for sale. I'm gonna ride out this bull wave and kind of see where we're at, and then I'll flip the switch again to try to get my money out of it when the eventual downturn happens. These 2 Vaporeon VMAX, Flareon VMAX, I actually just put these up on my eBay because, again, just these were $40 promos that I graded on my own. So to be in them for $50 and for them to now be $600 and $900 is just absolutely crazy to me. So if I can get my money out of those and even do the play again, I mean, the raw cards on these are still like $50, $60, I think, each. So if I sell these for, you know, $1,000, $1,500, I could buy a lot of those promos. And for me personally, I would probably be a PSA 9 collector. I just don't value these as much as the market does, so that's why I would be selling those over buying them. I'm just as happy with a 9, but when I'm grading them myself, and that's why I do so many grading plays, it's easier to just put it aside after you've graded it for 50 bucks and kind of see where it can take you. The same exact thing happened with this Charizard V-Star. I opened 2 or 3 Charizard UPCs, but I bought a ton of these promos, all of these promos, this Charizard, and the Sleepy Charizard. I bought a ton of those promos to do this grading play. Kept some of the 10s. Unfortunately, I sold off all of my excess 10s. And that's one thing you'll notice in my collectors. I don't have any real heavy speculation plays in singles, or even sealed for that matter. Really, like I said, I would buy 2 of an item and then sell off one and keep the other. So the same thing happens with these PSA 10s. I've sold one of these in a 10, and then I was holding this one kind of for free, essentially. So I let those ride. There's 151 Elite Trainer boxes. This is the Pokemon Center one, and I actually had 4 of these. And my play with all the ETBs was my wife and I would open one and we'd keep 2 sealed. Again, the same exact thing. I would open one, grade both the promos so I could keep 1 promo, sell 1 promo, keep the boxes so I could sell 1 box and keep 1 box. So when the 151 ETB ran up to $500, I sold it for 500 bucks and cashed myself out. So the price of 4 of these would be 60 times 4, maybe about $240 for the whole, you know, all 4 of those boxes. So for me to sell it at 500 and get my money out of it, that lets me keep 1 full box and 2 Snorlax promos for free. If we switch over here to eBay listings, I kind of have it separated out. You will see that I do have the Pokemon Center exclusive Snorlax up, exactly for the same reason. You know, I've already got my money out of 151, but for the same reason I'm listing those Vaporeon VMAXs. The price is just too crazy on this. I could sell this for whatever, almost $1,000 now, and just buy a whole bunch of these raw and then do the play over. That's kind of where I'm at with those, especially these modern cards. Not where it's easy to grade, but where the card is more plentiful. I just have more opportunity to get it again, so I'm more willing to sell the card, even though, like in the case of the Vaporeon VMAX, that's actually my favorite VMAX card from the Sword and Shield era, probably. Fusion Strike, I bought, you know, as with everyone, I should have backed the truck up. I bought one of these at, I think, $100 way back when, so this is one of my best performing items. I unfortunately missed the boat on Evolving Skies. Again, I don't like to chase, and so the fact that that was $250, $300 when I got back into the hobby, that was just a little bit too rich for my blood, especially when we didn't have the track record that Pokemon has now. I mean, we were still in a bear market in 2022, 2023, so things weren't taking off, and so I didn't have the confidence that I have now in the Pokemon market at all, and again, I didn't want to chase, so I'm fine with missing out on that. Maybe eventually I could sell something, roll the profits into that, but even then, I probably won't. I will be okay missing out, and that's the thing. You're gonna have to be okay missing out. You're gonna see I only have products from Sword and Shield on, and that's just because the others seem to be too expensive for me. So these CD promos, I actually, and this base set pack, I bought these. Well, I bought these, 2 years ago, I think, but I bought these last month for a little project that I'm doing. We went to Japan last year, and I wanted to find them there, but I couldn't find them as souvenirs, so I bought them when I got back. I'm gonna put together a cool shadow box that I have that has this artwork on it. I have art set of all of these packs too, and then I have the original games that I played, my red version, blue version, and then I bought green while we were in Japan. So I'm going to put together a cool shadow box that has all of those arts on it, which will be really cool. This Pikachu V, this is a cool one. This is again from the Celebrations Ultra Premium collection that I opened on my channel. It graded a 10. I absolutely love this card, so I'll probably keep this one forever again. Even though I don't have my money out of the UPC yet, this one's just so cool to be holding on to. I really like Lost Origin. Here's one I think that might be a little bit undervalued. I think this is probably the second best set in the Sword and Shield era. So at only 500 bucks, this could be a little bit undervalued, but again, I really don't like to chase, so I'm not buying any more Lost Origin unless a crazy deal popped up or I bought someone's collection. Then that might be the only way. This Pikachu EX is a story of, well, one I did chase on. I love this card. I think it's so cool, and to commemorate the Worlds in Japan, I just thought that was so cool, so I bought this for like $375 or something like that, or $350 for the box, and then I graded the card and it came back at 10 luckily. So it dropped all the way down to like 150 or something, and then now it's come all the way back to 500. So this shows that even if you're early on some plays, if you're patient and just hold on to cards that will do well, they'll eventually come back up for you. And then we've got the Sword and Shield special here. Like I said, I bought almost one of every box going forward. Silver Tempest was actually the first booster box that I ever opened, which is pretty fun. So that shows kind of the range I was at or what I was willing to spend money on in the hobby. It took me a whole year before I was able to get comfortable opening up at a booster box, but I was comfortable enough buying these. I think I bought all of these for between $100 and $120 for Chilling Reign, Brilliant Star, Silver Tempest, and Astral Radiance. So happy to have those, even though I missed on Silver Tempest. I was still new enough back then to at least pick up one of these boxes, and that's fine. Silver Tempest I actually had 2 of. I sold one off in that April. I was just trying to get some money out of it, so I can't, I'm not going to beat myself up over it because no one ever got hurt taking profits. The 151 UPC, the golden age of TikTok deals. This one I was able to get for like 80 bucks all day on TikTok. So unfortunately, I only bought like 3 or 4 of them. I opened a lot of them, and then I sold one for maybe $250 again back in April. And if I'd held it, it would have like doubled. But you really can't beat yourself up over that. I mean, the hobby is doing insane things right now, so it is what it is on that one. This Charizard's PSA 6 here, this is my childhood Charizard. This one's not going anywhere ever. This is in the same category as Umbreon, where this one will be with me for the rest of my life. Team Rocket's Mewtwo, we got lucky on this one, pulled it as well. Out of a random blister pack my wife bought while she was up in Boston and brought all the way back home, and we pulled it just out of like 5 packs or something from Dollar General. She bought 3, and she was telling me that she found them, and I'm like, go back and get more. So she bought 3 more, came home with 6 packs, and we pulled this out of one of those 6. So amazing story there. That's a really cool one. Again, because it's a freak accident, we pulled this out of, $30 worth of packs. We'll hold on to this one too. We actually pulled 2 of these, and I sold one off. Again, I mentioned in my when to buy singles video, because this set's so new, I wanted to sell this off and fund some other cards to buy for the hobby, or for this set specifically, because I'm still trying to master set this, but happy to have that one. Evolving Skies Elite Trainer boxes. I mentioned I don't have Evolving Skies booster boxes, but I do have some Evolving Skies. I was in the hobby when this was kind of rotating out, so I was able to buy 4 Evolving Skies Elite Trainer boxes from like Books A Million or something, from a random deal, a random website. Playing Rocket League with my buddies when I got pinged in Twitter or whatever that said Books A Million was selling these, and I remember dropping $200 at the time, and I was like, am I silly for doing this? Like, that's a lot of money. Like, 200 bucks is real money. And then now that, one of these boxes is worth almost double that, it's just absolutely crazy to think about. And it's still, mind-blowing to me. When you try to tell people about Pokemon and investing, it's really hard to comprehend just because of the run that we've had recently. And you know, I don't know if it's going to continue. That's why I'm taking some money out of it, and then I'll just let the rest run. So these I've actually sold, again, back in that April sell-off. I sold one of each of these to recoup my money and make some money, and then I'll keep these just because now they're at a zero cost basis, essentially. Pokemon Center ATBs, I've gotten pretty lucky with these. My thought process with these was always, like I said, with the 151s, I would buy 4 of them. We would open 2, we'd grade 2 of the promos, and we'd keep 2 sealed. Unfortunately, back in April, I sold off my 1 extra that I had, so I kept 1 of every Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. Now with the new queue system, I'm getting smoked recently. I haven't been able to pick up an Elite Trainer box from Pokemon Center in a while. I actually had to buy Destined Rivals on the open market. It is what it is. I think Destined Rivals is one of the greatest sets, so I'm okay with buying that one at market. Giratina V-Star, I got, and the Lugia V here. I got lucky and pulled these 2 as well. Again, I pulled a ton of Sword and Shield era product. This Lugia was fun. It came out of those God packs that came from Best Buy. I don't even know why some of their sleeve packs, every single one had a hit in it. So I bought 10 of those packs, I think 2 times, and in the second batch, one of them had a Lugia. Unfortunately, it graded a 9. I might actually crack it and regrade it. It's a little bit off center, but might be worth taking a shot, especially when you pulled it yourself. Charizard VMAX, this is one that I actually bought in a 10, a very rare time that I bought this in a 10, and I paid, I think, $250, $275 for it. I mean, it got super cheap for how hard of a card this is to pull. I love the VMAX pose on here too, so I have every single one of these. The shiny one was my favorite card from the Sword and Shield era, so I have that one, the one from Darkness Ablaze, and this one all next to each other. They look amazing. Destined Rivals here, I've got 4 of these boxes, which is admittedly the most of any booster box. I bought these around 220 was my entry point on all of these, and again, it was because of the fact that I missed Evolving Skies, so I was like, I'm not letting that happen again. So I'm not backing the truck up. I'm not buying, you know, cases and cases. In fact, I said Destined Rivals would be the first case that I buy, but then the price got away from me so quickly, and I could never pre-order a case, that it kind of got away from me. So I do have 4 boxes left. I did open 1 to try to complete my master set, and then I'll hold the rest. So that's a fun one. I do think Destined Rivals is probably the best set of the Scarlet Violet era, so I think that one will do very well. Now, so many of these, I'll just keep scrolling pretty quickly. I mean, you guys can see what I have here. I even got into Final Fantasy Collectors a little bit. But again, my main strategy, I'll wrap this video up because it's already gone on long enough. If you have interest in this, I'll reach out to me and I can get you this link and you can just scroll through my Collectr profile whenever. I should have mentioned this in the beginning. This is not sponsored by Collectr. I just use their app and really like them. But again, you can see what I'm buying. A lot of singles. I've tried to keep it separate, but it really is split into sort of like three tiers, and that's my sealed product, my PSA graded stuff, and then my master sets that I'm trying to collect. So it is interesting to kind of see that broken out, especially with how some of the cards have run recently. And that's one of the good things about having it in the Collectr app. You don't have to check TCG Player every day. You can just load up the app and kind of see if anything's moving. And you're like, oh, this Charizard V-Star is $150. Maybe I should sell that. You know, it's just things like that where you can see it and then decide from there if you think it's worth that much in your mind, or if you can sell it off and get something else. But I'll keep on scrolling down here. Again, this goes on for a while, and that's what's crazy about this is there's so many products that are like in the $50 to $100 range, and that's kind of why I wanted to sell off. I do have 151 booster bundles, 24 of these, and Prismatic Evolutions, 23 of those. So I went pretty heavy into the booster bundles. I love those. But as I was saying, there's so many of these cards that are like $50 to $60, $50 to $100, and I don't want to have to worry about, you know, having a binder that's worth all that and just in the back of my mind think that it's a waste of money. And that's why I'm trying to get as much value out of it as I can, because I really do appreciate these single cards much more than I do my sealed product, especially like I said, when it's just in the closet and I can't really do anything with it. Whereas a binder, I can pull it out and look at it a little bit easier. So that's just, I find myself looking at those and slabs a lot more often than I do my other cards. So the main goal is to try to pull out more money than I've put into it. I was doing a pretty good job of that in April, so I have no problems with this anymore. I am very confident with the liquidity of Pokemon to be able to sell, at least to get my cost basis out of this, and then the rest, even if it goes down to zero, will be whatever, because I've already taken my profits from it. So that's really all I've got for this video. Again, I'll keep scrolling a little bit longer. If you do want to see this Collectr app, again, message me, reach out. I'll link this in the description of this video, so you can scroll down there and click that as well and look through it. But I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to do a Q&A video, you know, anything Pokemon really, but I'm primarily an eBay seller when I do sell, and again, that's just so that I can fund my collection even more. So this hobby is very addicting, and it can get very dangerous very quickly financially. So you need to make sure you're smart about it, kind of doing things to fund this hobby. So that's how I view it. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you liked this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, catch another one of my videos right over there, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.